What is going on, guys? Fraz here with 59 Gaming, and today we are taking a look at my top 5 live events from Fortnite. Now, if you play the game at all, you understand that Fortnite follows a storyline, and these live events help move the storyline forward. We are currently in Chapter 2, Season 6, which means that we have 15 seasons in the book, which also means that we have 15 plus live events in the game. So I am going to be taking each event and kind of judging it by its memorability, the experience, its impact on the game, and visual appeal, and things like that to ultimately craft this list. I do want to note that as time goes by, obviously games get a little bit better at doing things such as live events, so you will, spoiler, see a couple more recent events in this list. But with all that being said, let's go ahead and jump into my top 5 live events from Fortnite. Number 5, The Device. So this event was early Chapter 2, and we as a player base were still kind of learning on who Midas was, what the agency was about, why the henchmen were there. There was still a lot to kind of learn about this new season, this new map that was introduced. And basically what we got was that Midas was creating this quote-unquote device that he was going to launch and kind of change a couple things around in the game. So theories were kind of going everywhere on what would happen, how it would impact the game and things like this. And the event itself wasn't anything crazy. Now, we did see the cool effect of having the water storm, but that in itself was very annoying, just kind of dealing with it, because A, it would slow you down, you die from fall damage, but that's a whole nother thing in itself. The biggest thing that we got from this event was the idea that Fortnite was introduced as an ever-looping simulation. We saw real-life Jonesy who talked, which was crazy because that was the first time we ever saw a Fortnite person actually talk. We saw him in the office, we saw all these things, he got rifted into the island, and then we were kind of introduced with this new idea as, you know, Fortnite's a simulation, so where do we go from here? So there's still so much to learn about this idea, as we are currently in the middle of Chapter 2 and this idea of Fortnite being a simulation. How do we get out of this? Blah, blah, blah. But it still racked a lot of people's brains. Theories were kind of running rampant on what would be happening next, what's being introduced, how is this going to impact everything. So like I said, the device event was nothing too crazy as a spectacular, visual, appealing show, but the idea of, again, introducing the idea of simulation and how that has impacted Fortnite itself going through is the main reason why this event got into my top 5. Number 4, the Volcano. In late Chapter 1, we saw a lot of changes to the map, including one volcanic area in the top right of the map. Now this was great because it was mobility, so that means you can kind of drop in a very remote area of the map and not have to worry about running from the storm constantly, because you have the mobility that kind of shot you up and lets you go wherever you needed to go through the volcano. But of course with the volcano came the idea of, you know, what was going to happen with it, when is it going to erupt, what's going to happen from that eruption, what's going to get destroyed, is anything going to get destroyed? So people were kind of coming up with ideas and theories on that. And when the time finally came, we got the live event of the volcano actually erupting. And for the first time ever, we saw Tilted Towers be destroyed. And that was huge because Tilted Towers was a beloved area in the Chapter 1 map because everyone landed there. It's an OG spot. But seeing kind of that melted rock land and destroy all of Tilted was kind of crazy. And us as a player base, we're all just kind of sitting there being like, okay, it just destroyed literally the most known spot on the map. What else is going to be taken? Is it going to take Retail Row? Is it going to take Pleasant Park? What's going to happen next? Unfortunately, nothing else was really destroyed, but it was still that idea of this changed the map, which ultimately changed the game quite a lot. Other than that, the volcano itself became a POI, and it was still a great form of mobility, which is why it was such a good event in my mind. So the mixture of destroying a fan favorite location and kind of changing the end of Chapter 1 and also making a new POI, that little mixture was a reason why it hit my top 5 at number 4. Number 3, the end. So the idea is that Season 10 is here. Chapter 1 is coming to a close, and no one knows what's going to happen after this 10th season. People were theorizing that things were going to happen. Are they going to bring out a new map? Is the meta going to change so wildly and drastically that, you know, things are going to be different in Fortnite? Obviously, Fortnite had to change and adapt and become better because we can't just keep playing the same game. That's how games die. And as funny as it is to call Fortnite a dead game, it's not. You see all the collabs, you see all these things happening, so Fortnite technically is still not a dead game. But Season 10 was the point where Fortnite had to say, okay, things need to change up, we need to keep pushing out a storyline, and we need to change things up so that our player base stays happy in a sense. Enter the event, the end. So at this point we saw rifts, we saw meteors, we saw rockets just going crazy. Now this wasn't, again, anything spectacular. It wasn't like a crazy show where we were just in awe of its visual appeal or anything. It was ultimately what happened after that that really captured not only Fortnite as a game, but the gaming industry in itself. This event, as you may know, is the black hole. For 48 hours, players sat there and stared at a screen that had a black hole on it, wondering what was next. We were just taken from one map. What's going to happen? Are we going to go back into that map? Are we going to see a new map? What all does this entail? And the viewership from Twitch, YouTube, Mixer, Facebook gaming, all those things were out of the park as millions of people just sat there wondering what's going to happen to Fortnite. Little did they know, the consequences from this event would kind of make some of the player base, well, a lot of the player base, salty that we got a new map and everyone wants to go back to the old map, but that's just a whole nother thing as well. For this fact alone, that there were so many viewers, so many theories running around, and even though, like I said, it wasn't anything crazy, it was literally just a couple rockets going crazy and then a black hole. Nothing too crazy, but the idea behind the story of this event kind of solidified its place in the top 5 pretty easily, and that's why I have it at number 3. Again, nothing crazy, but the idea behind it was wild, and its impact on Fortnite was one of the biggest things that we've seen yet. Number 2, the final showdown. This event occurred in Season 9 of Chapter 1. Again, a later portion of Chapter 1, so people were kind of wondering, you know, we're getting kind of closer to Chapter 10, so what's going to happen from here? Is this fight going to determine, you know, what happens into the future? Is this going to change a lot? What are we going to see after this? Again, a lot of theories running rampant, ideas of what Fortnite would look like after this event. The battle to save Fortnite. This was an epic scene. We got Mecha versus Monster, Godzilla versus King Kong. It was super hyped because it was an epic battle to see, you know, was the player base going to win or was the monster going to win? So once the time came for the live event to actually take place, we saw the mech stand up and we also saw the monster come up. The tide swung as we saw the two beasts go at each other for the safety of Fortnite. You know, everyone always thinks good guys are gonna win, but in this case we did see quite the swing as the mech got its arm torn off and, you know, the monster started winning and we were like, oh crap, what's gonna happen now? What if the monster wins? I don't think anyone actually thought about this, but ultimately it came down to the good guys winning. And even the most disrespectful part is the mech actually started flossing on the monster after its victory. Very, very mean of him to do. Very toxic behavior, Fortnite. But that fight itself was super cool because everyone was kind of launched into the air and they were kind of able to not interact with the fight, but they were able to get super close, super far away. They were able to kind of get the angles that they wanted to get when viewing the fight. And again, there was such good choreography in the fight that it made itself such a great live event. But not only that, we were able to kind of go into the game and see what happened to the map based on, you know, the monster losing. We got to see the skeleton of the monster. We got to see some of these slight map changes. Even the item shop was updated with the new mecha skin, the monster skin. You had the flossing dance added into it, the one-armed one. So there was a lot of changes from map, item shop. You got yourself a live event. Overall, as an experience itself, this was such a highly favored one in my list, and that's why it's at number 2. Number 1. No, this is not the Galactus event. Now, the Galactus event was very hyped up because we had the collab with Marvel and it was super cool. The idea of Galactus being introduced into this world and gonna eat the world and take over the Fortnite universe and destroy it. And is this actually gonna happen? Surely not. We're gonna find ways to defeat Galactus. So the visual appeal to Galactus was super cool. You know, we're all sitting on this ship looking as Galactus's large body was entering the Fortnite universe, but its event in itself as interactive as it wasn't anything crazy. In fact, it was almost kind of disappointing. Obviously, we got to interact on the battle buses and we had to go through Galactus and defeat him, but it really didn't live up to the hype. I really thought there was going to be so much more, that Galactus was going to give a better fight, that we were going to struggle, that there was going to be some downtime, something like that. But ultimately, it came down to us working with heroes, and from there we just won, and that was it. Quite literally, that was it. However, there was one event that did not fall flat at all, and that is the Travis Scott live concert. Now, I know you guys are freaking out. This can't be number one. This had nothing to do with the storyline, but I am legitimately saying that the Travis Scott live event was my top one live event from Fortnite. Now, the reason I say this is because it was such a visual masterpiece in that we got to stand there awaiting a concert. And this wasn't the Marshmello concert. It wasn't where we just walk up to a stage and kind of listen to music. This was quite literally from start to finish. Things were happening in the map. Travis Scott himself was 80 feet tall, singing to us. It was quite literally so weird and unique that there's no way it couldn't be top one. Whether you like Travis Scott or not, you cannot tell me that the experience from this event was not the best. Colors flying everywhere, we got pushed back as the beat dropped, so many things were happening. There was even a point where everyone started to speculate, oh my gosh, Travis Scott is taking us back to the old map, because he was starting to move out the Fortnite universe and kind of traveling through space, and we were just like, no way this is gonna happen. Obviously, it was just a live concert, so of course Travis Scott wasn't gonna change the whole game of Fortnite. I'm not the biggest Travis Scott fan. Sure, I like some of his music, but this concert was so far and beyond anything that Fortnite has ever done. And it wasn't even close. Like, this was the best live event. So for visual appeal and overall experience, this alone is why it is at number one. Sure, it didn't affect the storyline, it didn't really impact Fortnite, but those two factors were so far and beyond everything else, and that is why this event was at number one. Now, I do want to mention that Season 6 has started, and we did kind of get that personal individual live event where the Russo brothers actually kind of narrate this event, which was super cool, and the event itself was actually really good. For being an individual event where other players weren't involved, us kind of seeing how Jonesy and all these other collabs and hunters interacted with themselves, how Jonesy was actually going to try and stop the 0 Point from destroying the universe and kind of getting out of this ever-looping simulation of Fortnite. We kind of wanted to see how that would move forward, and we got a little bit of answers, but we didn't get the full answers. So it kind of left us on this cliffhanger that we're kind of excited to go through Season 6 and enjoy this primal season of Fortnite. But that is it, boys and girls, for my top 5 list of live events in Fortnite. I am excited to see what else Epic is going to do with future live events. I am super pumped for this new season. I've been enjoying this primal season that they've kind of introduced. So if you guys did enjoy this, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe if you are new, and also comment down below what was your top 5 live events from Fortnite. With all that being said, from everyone here at 5-9 Gaming, we hope you have a great day, and we'll see you in the next video. Peace.